up in the top right position, spawning as the blue Protoss player from Team Fnatic. It's Harstem. And his opponent spawning in the lower left position of Daybreak, the red Terran player, also from Fnatic, Naama.
Alright, so we have a pretty entertaining TVP here. For those of you who may not have watched these guys before, welcome to From Out From Under the Rock. But in all seriousness, Naama, previous DreamHack StarCraft 2 champion, famous for the Naama train, pulling approximately all of his workers with every attack he seems to accomplish in the game. Harstem, in the meantime, has recently been very active on Twitter, trolling everyone as soon as a Protoss wins any match in any tournament ever, about how this is going to be the year of Harstem and how he's going to come back and absolutely demolish everyone. So I look forward to the first game he loses where I can laugh at him repeatedly and hashtag Year of Harstem on Twitter.
We should all tweet him.
We should. I've had the privilege of meeting both these players, of course, at the most recent Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. I was casting on the analysis desk with Harstem and QXE, so I know the guy, a lot of fun. And Naama was at EPS Berlin last summer as well, so we were staying in the same hotel. And I actually have a funny story to tell you about that particular tournament. So,
tell us the story, Joseph. I've leant back in my seat, taking my hands off the keyboard and waiting for you.
Alright, so we all know, and back then, of course, Naama was reasonably famous for his all-ins. And I think, I forget who exactly I was sat with, but there were sort of 2 or 3 of us at the table. It was a breakfast buffet in the hotel. And we all sat down, and Naama came in about 5 minutes after we did. And he came with his tray, he got the stuff he wanted for breakfast, and then he sat down. And we all sort of stopped, and we looked at him. Because he got 2 glasses and filled them both with orange juice at a breakfast buffet where you could go back and get more orange juice. There was no danger of the buffet closing. We weren't late or anything like that.
Yep.
And, you know, one of us had to ask the question. So I was like, Naama, why do you have 2 glasses of orange juice on your tray? And he said, it's so that if I decided I wanted a lot of orange juice, that I wouldn't have to go back for more. I could just stay sat down. At which point, everyone on the table simultaneously realized that Naama doesn't just all-in at StarCraft 2. He all-ins at life.
He does.
How can you all-in a breakfast buffet? Like, this guy is amazing.
I just have this picture now. Like when he comes back from like the supermarket or something, and he's got loads of bags. He is the man who picks them all up and is just like, I'm only making one trip.
Yes.
Like regardless that he can't feel his fingers anymore because the plastic bags are like cutting off blood to his hands. He does it like a boss.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. And I mean, hey, I guess, you know, live your philosophy, right? So we might see the all-ins coming out of him here.
Did you just see that chat comment from Harstem saying, I like Harry Potter? I'm not sure if he's trolling me.
He's pretty cool, guys.
I'm not sure if he's trolling me because, of course, Twitch chat at the ESET finals went through a couple of hours of saying I look like Harry Potter.
I think Nick has to put us as referee next game so that we can chat with the players, because if they're going to troll this much, I'm going to jump in. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Well, anyway, we should probably say what's been going on in this game. And the reason we've had the opportunity to talk so much and so little about StarCraft is because these two have been going very, very standard and passive, both taking expansions. We've got the factory just coming down now for Naama. Harstem, he's got 2 gas. He's only now getting down his robotics facility. So it was a quick mothership core, 1 gate, 1 robo, and 1 nexus.
Well, the tone of that chat just fell downhill pretty quickly. Why don't you throw yourself down the stairs backwards, asks Naama. To which Harstem quite correctly responds, because I have a brain. I think that's a completely legit response there, as we have the factory about to finish up here for Naama. And meanwhile, on Harstem's side of the world, he is going to get started on that 2nd gateway. He's got, of course, the robotics facility almost done as well. Mothership core, a number of sentries, looking to play it very, very safe here in the early game.
Now, of course, playing it safe probably isn't a mistake when you know your opponent is so likely to just bring all of his probes, or all of his SCVs rather, over with you. So that is probably a very, very good move there by Harstem. And as we can see, the hallucinated Phoenix just getting a good read, saying, okay, currently he's making stuff and taking an expansion. He's not going to all-in me quite yet, which is obviously a good thing to scout out. But with the robotics facility down, we should get some good tech. We've got more gateways being added on as well at the moment for Harstem. And he's just getting up more observers, so he definitely wants to know what's going on.
Yeah, he's playing it very, very passively at the moment. He does see pretty much everything that's going on inside his opponent's base. They also saw the tech labs going down on both the barracks and the factory, so is under no illusion that we're not going to see Banshee play coming out of Naama here. A lot of tech labs going down for that reason, the first one coming out now.
The Twilight Council also on its way. Meanwhile, an Engineering Bay coming down for Naama. He's getting a Banshee as well, so coming for a little bit of harassment, a little bit aggressive play. The Hallucinated Phoenix is coming over though, sees that the Starport is on a tech lab, so therefore knows that it's likely to be a Banshee coming out. Also sees the Engineering Bay and generally gets a complete read of what Naama is planning.
Twilight Council coming out in conjunction with that robotics facility. He's also chrono boosting a +1 ground armor at the moment as well. Still continuing to be very chilled out and sort of very laid back here as he gets now a Zealot Charge.
Zealot Charge, of course, really, really potent against all Terran infantry. It's pretty much the staple of what's going on. So this is really nice mid-game transitions. Neither player has, all that's been lost this game is one scouting SCV for Naama. Other than that, these two just not engaging. They don't want to fight. They're on the same team after all.
Yeah, you're completely right. I mean, we're going to see weird things come out of these players. And for those people who are wondering why, these are both players on Fnatic, so they practice with each other day in, day out, and they know each other's macro games. And believe me, Naama has a decent macro game, contrary to popular belief. The guy is pretty good, man, and you can't discount him in any situation. They know each other's macro games inside out. And as a result, you want to be trying to do wacky things that your opponents might not normally expect. Now, admittedly, in Harstem's case, it might actually be a little bit more difficult because Naama is known for his all-ins, and you know that he can all-in very well too. So he doesn't necessarily default into a macro game, which means scouting is going to be that much more important for Harstem here.
And that's why we're seeing so many Hallucinated Phoenix, so many observers out, 4 on the field. So clearly, Harstem is desperate to know what Naama is going to be doing. We do, of course, have the second Forge coming out as well as the Templar Archive. So tech up into Colossi likely to be occurring. A tech up into High Templar likely to be occurring. Meanwhile, for Naama, he's just starting to move out. He's got a +1 and Combat Shield and Concussive Shell, all going to be syncing up to finish by the time this push reaches his opponent's base.
Yep, +1 Concussive Shell. Combat Shield will not be ready. There's still actually quite a bit left on that at the moment. Still a full in-game minute and change before that upgrade is ready. So I think he might choose to move in before Combat Shield completes. He has a healthy number of medevacs, a Banshee to supplement this push as well. Note that as it currently stands, there are no SCVs with this push, so definitely not an all-in just yet. Naama currently on 125 supply to Harstem's 103.
Naama has just completed his Ghost Academy as well, so he's going to be able to react very much appropriately to this, but he scouted nothing, so this is pretty much a blind counter to the fact that obviously Harstem's going High Templar. He doesn't know that this is coming down, so just straight away those mind games, knowing what your opponent is likely to prefer, really being beneficial here. We do see that Hallucinated Phoenix coming in, noticing that a lot of the army isn't around. The observer placement really nice, making sure that he's completely aware of anywhere Naama could be going with this small force. And Combat Shield is now complete, +1 Terran armor is about half done, and 3 Ghosts are in production.
Yep, it looks like Naama just wanted to hold the offensive watchtower at the moment and see if he can't do a little bit of damage against the third base of Harstem. A Marine does kick the bucket over there by the third, but not before seeing that there are quite a lot of charge lots out here. So he has to be a little bit careful, because if that army pushes out into the center there, Naama might not want to take it in his current form. He is, though, getting personal cloaking for his ghosts, and they are popping out 3 at a time right now.
So this is just a really, really nice counter. Also, it's worth noting that up in the main base, there's a single High Templar and Photon Cannon ready for drop defense. That's always a nice thing to do when boost medevacs are so prevalent in pretty much every matchup involving Terran. So this is just good play out of Harstem here. He's making sure that he's aware of everything that could be going on. And, well, Naama, he's just slowly getting out more and more units. He's at 160 supply to 130 of Harstem, and is actually 35 army supply ahead.
Now, one thing I want to point out, a very interesting decision there from Naama as he scans and goes in towards the third base location. I'll point this out afterwards. The Stalker going down immediately, and Harstem looking like he actually is going to try and engage here. But the problem is, here come the EMPs. A lot of those but excellent storms from those clutch Templar into the back. The problem is it's just way too much bio here. And I'm so surprised that Nexus hasn't been cancelled, because it's now going to get taken down so easily.
Yeah, that cancel not happening. Maybe just...
Oh, there are SCVs!
Oh, this is the moment. The SCV SCV train coming across. And,
Admittedly, there aren't that many SCVs in with this army, but enough to absorb a reasonable amount of damage. SCVs attacking that Nexus because, hey, why the heck not? They're going to do a good job, actually, of absorbing Zealot Charge. We joke about it quite a lot about these all-ins, but at the end of the day, those Zealot Charge has to come down on a cooldown as soon as those SCVs absorb it. It looks like a small amount of bio is left, but a decent number of ghosts, and the probe's getting pulled from Harstem as well. He knows the situation is dire, but Naama looking like he will be able to take